All right, welcome everybody back for another video. Today we're going to be looking at generating random numbers using Java. And this is going to be pretty good, pretty important for different programs. Right? We can use it for our guessing games. We can use it for a rock, paper, scissors game that we'll be programming eventually. But before we can use it, it's important for us to understand how it works and then to get some practice with it. All right, so just a few things here. To begin with, we have this is the syntax for it. So you do need to import it. I'll be showing you how to do that as well. And one of the things to keep in mind is that in its most basic form, when we generate this number, it's a decimal number that's between 0 and 1. Right, so what that means is that the number could be anywhere from like 0.5. It could be 0.0078, 0.867. You get the idea. So in order, right, unless we're looking for very small numbers, right, in order to actually use this, we're going to need to do some few math operations to it as well. Okay, so keep that in mind. I will show you how that will work as well. All right, so let's get into the coding with this. All right, just to make sure we're on the right screen. Perfect. Great. Okay, so I'm in Eclipse, and before we can even begin to use this, we do need to import. So once again, we'll import this above the public class name. So we have import java.lang.math. And let me just show you what this is going to look like. One sec. Perfect. All right, so if I just output this in its most raw form, let's try that out. Okay, so if I just stuck that math.random round, open round bracket, close round bracket, if I just stuck that in an output message, you'll see the types of numbers we'll get. So let's try that again. So, right, 0.844, big number. 0.49, blah, blah, blah. All right. So it does generate a random number, but like we said, it's not necessarily usable. So the first thing we can do, and this is one of the first skills that we'll learn today, is called casting. So I left it in comments. And what casting is we're taking a decimal number and we can actually turn that into an integer. And the way we do that is right in front of math.random, we'll put open round brackets, int, and close round bracket, just like that. So now when we run it, right, we get the number 0 now. Okay, so now we know it's turning it into an integer. Remember that this casting does not necessarily round something, it just turns it into an integer. So the question is, how do we now get a number that's not 0? And to do that, there's a number of ways we can do this. So one thing we can do is we can add a number. So if we said +1, now we get 1. Say we wanted a range of numbers. So say I want something between 1 and 5, or I want my max number to be 5. So we can in the curly brackets, we'll multiply this by 4. So we play it, run it, see what comes up. Might be getting a bunch of number 1s for now. Okay, so you get the idea of how this works. Now let's try to build off of this. So I'm going to bring in a few variables. Okay, here we go. And for this part, assume that we want to generate a number between 1 and 10. Okay, so we've created variables. So max number is 10, min number is 1, and our range is going to be max minus min plus 1. Okay, so let me clear out our old parts. Okay, next part. Okay, so next part, this time I'm going to create a variable. Let's call this int random. And this is going to equal, so we'll bring back math.random. Notice here, though, that there's a data type issue, right? Because math.random is a decimal number. So we need to turn it into an integer. Very good. And now we need to apply some other math to this. So first thing we're going to do is put brackets around math.random, and we're going to multiply it by the range that we want. Right, and remember up here, we've already calculated what the range is, which is max minus min plus 1. Okay. And then last step is, so we want to make sure we're not getting any 0 numbers like we were in the previous examples. So we're going to do plus min. So that makes sure that the minimum number, which in our case is 1, right, that's always going to be the lowest possible number. Okay, so then from here we can go on sum.out. And we just need to output the number from there. Good, so now let's test it out. Good, so we got the number 4, number 8, number 10, number 6. All right, so we can see how that works there. And then from here, now that we know these steps, we can start integrating it into Guessing Game and other programs like that. So for those, watch out. Well, there'll either be in video form again, or we'll be looking at it in class. All right, thanks everyone.